Today I'm bringing guys a brand new sports cards video. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the cards that are going up so much right now and whether I believe you guys should be buying or selling. Now, before we get into that, I did want to say a little bit about our membership program because we've had some great picks that have made quite a lot of money. Now, as we can see here in the ultra high-end report, which is our highest tier of our membership program with $10,000+ cards, we recommended on August 22nd of 2021 that our members buy up Joe Montana's PSA 10s for $45,000. They're currently up to $84,000. Not long later, they went all the way up to $114,000. So essentially, whoever bought these from our membership program roughly doubled their money depending on when they sold, but they roughly made around $45,000 to $50,000 on this pick of ours. So if you guys would like to join in on the program, we have all sorts of different tiers. So if you have a $10 budget, we have a tier for you, or if you have a $100,000 budget, you can join the ultra high-end reports. But if you guys would like to join in, link will be down below. But without further ado, we will hop right into the video. So the first card that we are going to talk about is Jordan Poole and his SGC 10. Now, as we can see here, firstly, of course, we know Jordan Poole has been playing incredible, but I kind of wanted to make this pick a little bit more about the SGC 10 because I think it's been seeing a little bit higher growth in general than PSA 10s, and that is probably simply because the pop is usually much lower. Now, as we can see here, the pop of a PSA 10 has roughly 700 or has roughly 800 of a cards available. Now, as we can see here for the SGC 10, there are only 45 SGC 10s. And we're seeing cards for Jordan Poole especially, and a lot of other players, appreciate more in their SGC 10 grades. Now, as we can see here, his PSA 10's $230. His SGC 10 is $150. And considering the turnaround times for SGC and their price to grade, it could be worth it for a lot of people sending in young players into SGC instead of PSA. Now, that's just my personal opinion. This card was starting at $30 and made its way up to $150, so that's a 5x return, whereas this PSA 10 started at $50 and went up to $228, which is not quite a 5x return, but pretty close. So it's definitely something to keep in mind. I definitely think Jordan Poole is going to be a star in the making. I think right now his prices are a little bit too hot for me to buy into, but I definitely think it's a good card to keep your eye on in case it kind of dips a little bit and you can find one for a good price to hold on to for the long term. Now, without further ado, we're going to hop right into the next pick, and that's going to be Brandon Ingram. Now, Brandon Ingram has kind of reminded the world of who he is. I think a lot of people have forgotten about Brandon Ingram, and that's simply because the Pelicans were not really winning games, but they made a great push this year, given, they took the Suns to 6 games, and the Suns, were championship contenders, obviously the number 1 seed in the league by, countless games. So I definitely think, we're going to see a good amount of attention around Brandon Ingram's cards in times to come. The Pelicans clearly have a great young core, in their team. I definitely think they're going to be competing for years to come, and Brandon Ingram's scoring abilities are, simply through the roof. I think he's going to be a star for years to come, and it could still be a great time to buy in. And what I love so much about Brandon Ingram's cards is that the population is much lower than, say, for example, Luka Doncic years, or even 2017 Prism. 2016 Prism is the last year of Prism that I'm personally very comfortable investing in because the pop numbers are so low. His pop is 186 for a silver Prism PSA 10. So as soon as some demand arrives, we see prices take off. And that's definitely what I love to see. So I definitely think Brandon Ingram is a good buy for the long term. I think I would hold off, wait a few weeks until his prices sort of cool down from his performance in the playoffs, and then I think it's a good time to be buying in for next year. Now, without further ado, we'll hop right into the next pick, and that's going to be Jalen Brunson. Now, Jalen Brunson has had a surprisingly very good year. Now, I actually called out in our membership program to buy up his cards roughly 4 weeks ago. And we've seen this card take off in the last 4 weeks from $90 to $260. So whoever in our membership program bought in, definitely great investment. I think it's definitely a time to sell for the short term, and that's simply my precautions because they are facing the Phoenix Suns, and I personally don't have the Mavericks winning, so I think, Jalen Brunson's going to get paid well this offseason. He's probably going to go to a worse team and get a better contract, so you could see, a good time to buy later, but I think for now, it's probably a good time to sell off, just given the hype around his cards right now. As we can see here, his base prisms are already starting to kind of see a big fall off. So I think if you're buying into a silver, it's a good time to sell off right now. Now that's my personal opinion, but take it how you want. But I think, in my opinion, it's a good time to sell off Jalen Brunson. Now without further ado, we're gonna hop right into our next pick, and that's gonna be Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards, SGC 9.5. Now, this is another pick kind of regarding the SGC trend. Now, as we see here, this card is up nearly 50%. Now, Anthony Edwards really performed in the playoffs. The Timberwolves took the Grizzlies to 6 games. And I just think this, Timberwolves young core is going to stick around for a while. And I think if they have some veteran presence, they could really take their games to the next step, and kind of become, that star and superstars that we hope that Edwards and Towns will become. So I definitely think it's a card to keep your eye on. I would hold off right now just because they're out of the playoffs. Wait a few months and then possibly buy back in. But it's good to see SGC getting some recognition. And, of course, Anthony Edwards getting some recognition for his incredible play. Now, without further ado, we're going to hop right into our next pick, and that's going to be Jayson Tatum. Now, I wanted to make a specific point about Jayson Tatum's cards and his fast break prism in general, because as we see here, we saw Jayson Tatum's prism base go up so much. Now, as a result of his prism base going up, we see all of his other cards going up because his stock in general is going up. Now, as we see, it sometimes takes a while for his other cards to catch on. Now, I think there's always great opportunity when a player's base card goes up, and then you can buy into those variations before they go up and make your money there. Now, this card took a little bit longer to go up than his base prism. That's just because his pop is a lot lower. Now, I think it's always a good time to buy in to cards that haven't gone up, or to players' cards that haven't gone up when the players' other cards have gone up, if that makes sense. So I definitely think Tatum's fast break still has a good amount of growth. His PSA 10 has only gone up 65%, while his PSA 9 has gone up 165%. So that's a little bit skewed. I think if you have a PSA 9, you should sell off. If you have a PSA 10, you should hold on. But I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. I hope, it helped you guys out. If you would like to join in on the program, the link is down below. I want to thank you guys so much for all the support on our membership program and on our YouTube channel. But thank you guys so much for watching. And other than that, I'm out. Peace.